At this point, I really need to tell you that when I was growing up, I went to a vocational art high school to learn to make some kind of cartooning. It's all I wanted to do after being introduced to Harvey Kurtzman's work. I had no interest in working for comic books, which became very boring after the censorship of the 1950s, but I thought it would be great to make comic strips or something. Then I had to find out, what kind of comics do I want to make? And I wasn't really sure, except I began making comics that were more and more surreal and strange. Drawn very badly, but I'm not a great drawer. Nevertheless, when I was 18, I was invited to work for this bubblegum company. I found that a man who had just been there before me and had moved on was a guy named Robert Crumb. He had this job briefly and had moved to California, and when I went to Haight-Ashbury with flowers in my hair, I met Robert Crumb before Zap Comics had come out. And then he showed me what he was working on, and I got really both excited and deflated. I figured, okay, we don't need to reinvent comics. Crumb is just doing it just fine without me. Basically, what Crumb was doing in San Francisco was inventing something really new. Comics for comics' sake. Comics that didn't necessarily have punchlines. Comics that were dealing with the real fabric of daily life in a very personal way, with a resuscitation of all of the great old comic styles that had been stripped down to become the less is more aesthetic of Peanuts. For the first couple of years, I, like many other cartoonists, began to draw comic characters with very big feet and lots of cross-hatching. And it was amazing how many cartoonists did this. When I began to meet people like Yost Swart and Jack Tardy, everybody had to pass through the Robert Crumb monolith, like from 2001, to find themselves, because he had really reinvented what comics could be. He's a real master. I'm proud that I've gotten to know him over the years, but I had to understand Crumb to be able to make anything further and anything new, because he was doing kind of comics that seemed to come without the commercial constraints that came with that marriage of art and commerce that I talked about at the beginning of my conversations with you.